What's good, y'all? Happy Wednesday. So I want to talk about something right now. A little while ago today at work, I was talking with two co-workers of mine who were both like old enough to be my parents. Both very nice, very good people, and they've been in this industry that I'm working in for much longer than I have. But we were just talking randomly. Okay, this is how the conversation went. So I was talking with two people, one fella named Dennis, and then another lady named Aida. And we're talking about like work, because we might be trying to hire some new people to do a particular task, like some engineering stuff. And Aida was saying how like at work I am very detail oriented and very careful, like following specific instructions and not really missing any of the small details. So I appreciated that. And then they were saying, she said, oh, you must be a Taurus because like you're so detail oriented and like you have to be in order to do that. And then I was like, yeah, I am a Taurus. My birthday is May 10th. And then her, Aida, and Dennis are also both Tauruses. And they were talking about how years ago, when, like, I think it was 2022, before our company, like, merged or whatever, there was, like, a smaller amount of people, but they were like, all Tauruses, like, funny enough. And they were all, like, very detail-oriented. And it's very interesting because we're all Tauruses, and then she was like, yeah, you have to be like very detail oriented, blah blah blah. I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. Like astrology, kind of like you know, not totally something I'm into. Some people are, some people aren't. By the way, sorry about the windshield wipers. It's a little rainy out right now and they're a touch noisy, but regardless, so like I'm not like super, like when it comes to astrology, I'm not like all into it at all, but I'm also not like, I'm not against it. I'm open to the idea of it. So I go back to my desk. I had like a little bit of time. It was like 3 o'clock. It's 3:40 now, so about 40 minutes ago. And I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna like look up like Taurus astrology signs, like that type of shit, just astrology. And I'm like starting to read up on all these different websites, specifically on Tauruses. I've definitely done that before, but like not in a while. And I'm starting to read it. It's like, okay, it's like April 22nd to May 22nd, I want to say, something like that. But regardless, I'm a Taurus according to that. And it was like each Taurus has like their own like element. There's like earth, air, water, fire, and I guess all 4 of the elements correspond to 3 months of the year. So it's like 3 months out of the year, or rather 3 of the astrology signs will correspond to one of those 4 elements. And people who are like Taurus are corresponding to Earth. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever. It's funny enough, I don't know if any of y'all have seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, the TV show, but regardless, in that show, it's like the elements of the earth, and the people have like the power to harness them. And I've talked about it before with my friends. I would be like, you know, if you could be any of that 4 elements, what would you be? And I said earth. I mean, that's just like how I feel as a person. And I just think it's kind of funny because when I said that, my friends were like, oh yeah, you'd definitely be earth. And then I go and read up on this astrology, and it's like Tauruses are earth elements. And it's like, huh, interesting, okay. But I understand also a lot of like the descriptions used to describe Tauruses, like any of the astrology signs. I feel like a lot of the descriptions are kind of general, but at the same time, some of the descriptions I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like me. But also some of the descriptions I thought were not like me at all. Okay, example. So it was explaining how Tauruses can like have a knack for like high quality. Like they appreciate high quality and luxurious things. I don't necessarily, yeah, that is me. I do appreciate high quality, whatever it is, whether it's art or like just whatever it is. I want it to be higher quality, because it's like, why would you want low quality if it can be better? You know, like you should do your best. So it's like, okay, that's kind of applies to me, okay. But then another one, it was like, it said it was describing as Tauruses to be materialistic, and I don't think that's me. I try not to be materialistic at all. Obviously, I am to a degree. I think everybody is. But that was one description where I was like, that's not me. I'm sorry, but that's not right. So I understand like the descriptions of like the astrology signs like have general descriptions that you'll see on like a website or whatever, and they try to generalize as much as possible to a particular group of people. So obviously it's not going to be 100% accurate. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty interesting actually. I read like a few different articles, and honestly, it was pretty. I enjoyed reading on it, to be honest, because some of it like did feel like the descriptions, like it felt like, yeah, that's kind of how I feel or like act like as a person, you know. So then I was like, like I've always questioned astrology before, you know. I feel like it's, generally speaking, astrology is more of a girl thing. No shade, but I feel like that's kind of the truth. But I'm not against it, because I was actually, one of the articles was nice because it actually provided history into astrology as to like how it came about. And from the one article that I read that touched upon the history, it said that it was likely from the Babylonians, and then it was passed on to Egypt and Greece and so on. So I thought that was cool. Like it actually provided some history. You know, who doesn't like that? Kind of lost my train of thought, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I was talking about like whether if I like truly believe in it or not. I'm not a denier of like astrology, because I think it was stating how astrology is a philosophy, and it kind of originated as a study of the stars, where people back in ancient history, it was describing how people would try to like make like maps of the universe, like the stars rather, and track their movement. And that's kind of how it transformed or like originated somewhat. And I do believe that there are certain things about the universe that us humans like do not fully comprehend or understand, or don't even come close to understanding. And I think one of them could be how like there's some underlying forces within the universe. You know, it's like, for looking at like a basic thing, is how the moon affects like the push and pull of the oceans here on Earth. And I'm not saying that, okay, it's just like something like that, where at first it might seem kind of like, what, like that, they don't shot, but you know, that's something that we've actually learned to be true. Whereas there's obviously so much more to the universe that we literally have zero clue about. And who's to say, maybe fucking being born in a particular month does somehow slightly affect you as a person. Like, I'm not denying that, because that's basically in a nutshell, what it seems like to me, astrology tries to, not astrology, because I feel like astrology is probably way more of a study in philosophy that people, like, there's definitely way more to it than just looking at the, you know, like, what's your sign based on when you were born. Like, there's way more to it than that. I probably don't know much about it at all. But I think it's interesting how that is a specific aspect of it, of like, oh, I'm born May 10th. That makes me a Taurus, and here's like maybe some general descriptions that could apply to me. That is what I find interesting, because it's like, where are these ideas coming from? Like, why are these descriptions being applied to these particular people based on being born in a particular set of time on a calendar that humans created? What's the idea with that? I don't know. I just thought it was very interesting. So, like, I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm open to it. I think it's pretty cool, actually. I was honestly really enjoying reading up on astrology. I might do some more reading. I don't know. Because I think that's one of those things where it's like people kind of write it off as being like, nah, it's bullshit. But astrology, to me, is kind of one of those wishy-washy subjects where it's like got a little bit of magical mysticism to it, and I think there's something to that, you know? I don't know. Thought it was pretty interesting. Like, if anybody watching this, I actually like genuinely want to know, like, what are your thoughts on astrology? Because it seemed like there was, I read 3 different articles, like, briefly, and also is like, it goes into like, oh, like, this certain astrology sign is like best matched with these other astrology signs. And one of the articles differed from the other article. It was talking about like loving, just like being a certain astrology sign and like loving another one. Oh shit. It was like, oh, Taurus is most well matched with like this one, this one, and this one, and they're usually incompatible or least compatible with this, this, and this. And then one of the other articles said something slightly differently, so it's like, okay, where's this information coming from? Like, again, not disproving it, I'm just questioning this. It's like, what's going on here? Where's all this like ancient lore coming from? Because I feel like there's probably so much more. I know there's definitely way more to it than I've even touched upon. I actually find that to be pretty cool. So I don't know. I enjoyed reading about it. It was pretty cool. I like talking about it. You know, it's like a briefly kind of a new subject to me. Not new. Like, I've heard of astrology, but that was probably the most reading I've ever done in regards to astrology. Funny enough. But yeah, I mean, cool. Like, I liked reading about it. Maybe you should go read a little bit on astrology too. Say, what's my astrology sign? Astronomer sign? I don't even know which one it is. Regardless, though, I don't know. You could probably go learn something. And shit, even if you think it's bullshit, just go read about it. It's fun. I don't care. I don't know. See? You gotta take the approach. Something that I often remind myself of is that human beings, in the grand scheme of things, we don't really know much. You know? Like, I'm not trying to say, like, I mean, I guess I kind of am. Like, there's this song by a band called Mad Season that I really like. They have, like, one album. And they have a song called I Don't Know Anything. And it's a really, really awesome song. And sometimes when I think I know something, I'll just remind myself that I don't know anything. Kind of like joking about the song, but not really, because I believe that humans, like, I'm not calling us dumb, but I'm saying that humans, in the grand scheme of the universe, we don't know anything at all, really. Like, we know some stuff. We've been here, like, we've done science for, you know, several thousand years or so. I don't know. There's way more to the universe and everything that I don't know. So take that approach to life, that you'll learn more. You know, don't be fucking arrogant and act like you know everything, because guess what? You don't know shit. So stop acting like you do. That's my approach. Okay, briefly, I mentioned grand scheme of things, because one thing when I was reading the articles, I was like, I thought it was interesting because there was a lot of, like, somewhat general, the descriptions pertaining to the different astrology signs. Like, I was only reading Taurus's, and it was kind of saying, like, having these descriptions, I wouldn't say they're general descriptions, they're kind of specific, but the thing is like, I was like looking at it from this perspective. I was like, okay, if you take a very zoomed out approach of the universe and Earth, I was thinking, sorry, I gotta try to word this correctly, my thoughts. But I was like, if you really zoom out and take a big picture approach, if you look at a particular set of people, say human beings for the last 10,000 years, and for the next 1,000 years, it seems to me that there is a lot of generalities, commonalities between all of us. Obviously, we're human beings, like, ultimately we're all kind of the same, more or less. So that's another thing where, again, I'm not disproving astronomy. Astronomy's fucking not the same shit, I don't think. It's not. Astrology, I was just like, you know, humans, like, a lot of us are probably the same. That's why I was kind of like questioning these general descriptions that apply to a lot of people. Because that was another thing. I was only reading on Tauruses. I bet if I read all the different fucking websites about all the different 12 months of the year, all the different astrology signs, there'd be a shit ton of commonalities, I would guess. I mean, sure, differences, but, like, in general, it's like they're all describing human beings. Like, obviously, like, there's not going to be a super vast difference. So that was my approach to it as well. Because it's like, right now, human beings haven't, you know, we evolved, and it's like we haven't changed that much since. Like, we have better technology. It's still the same, like, we're still the same bodily humans, so, like, and biologically, I mean, like, our brains aren't that much different. So I was just thinking about it like that, you know. But regardless, I thought it was cool. I liked reading about it. All right, I'm gonna end this video here. So again, let me know if your thoughts on astrology. I want to know, because I actually do think it's pretty interesting. Maybe I want to read some more about it. I don't know. All right, thanks for watching. Peace. Have a good day. I love you.